Ryan's Rock Show. My name is Ryan. I'm the host of the program. It's our Clooney's Not Gay edition of Ryan's Rock Show. Today we're going to be speaking to Every Time I Die. But first, your weekly essential, where we play you a band that you need to know if you don't know them already. For your weekly essential, be sure to send us your comments, your questions, and or your suggestions to ryansrockshow.com. Now, I had a chance to meet up with Andy from Every Time I Die. Here's what he had to say.
Dude, I'll tell you what, when we first started, you had to be rich to have like a computer with the internet. Yeah. So there was no internet at all when we first started. There was, you had a little black book and it had everyone you could think of's name in it from different cities, and you called them and said, hey, what do you say? I mean, can you guys do a show for us on this date? Yeah, of course. If you were friends with the band, like we were friends with Poison the Well, so it was like, okay, we knew these dudes from Florida, they want to tour with us, we'll tour with them. You know what I mean? And that's exactly how it was. Now, everything was based on work ethic. Like the harder a band worked, the more they got accomplished. Yeah. Where now, there's no work ethic. Newer bands don't work. There's bands that have been bands for 2 months, and they're like touring in buses and doing stupid shit. And it's like, here we are, drudging along for the last 10 years, and it's like,
working your ass off.
We've worked our ass off for 10 years, There wasn't a point in time where anything was given to us. It was always something that we worked for, you know what I mean?
Well, what do you think about the newer bands and their music?
It blows my mind when there'll be bands like that, with us being around for so long, you see bands like Cave In.
Yeah, I love Cave In, by the way.
They're one of the most talented bands that ever walked the earth. And they are, no one will ever remember them except for if you're a true music fan. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things, no one will remember that band. Do you know what I mean? They took a shot. You know what I mean? They were one of the bands that actually took a shot, went to a major label, and thought that they could do that. It didn't work out. Yeah. But it doesn't mean you can't, just because that didn't work out, it doesn't mean you can't fucking diss them for their musical. They made awesome music, But then like a band like Chiodos, who's been around for whatever, in the grand scheme of things, people are going to remember them, and they're dog shit. You know what I mean? It's
so funny, man. Like all the bands I interview, like hate that band. And
it's you give what you get.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's basically it. We did some tours with them, and they weren't the greatest of people, and.
Yeah, I interviewed those kids, man, back a few months ago.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, the worst interview I've ever done.
Yeah, they probably were really, there was no, I could just imagine, who was it?
I interviewed the bassist and Matt and Pat.
Pat's awesome.
Yeah.
Pat's just quiet. He probably wasn't giving you
and it's hard with the radio show,
Yeah.
It's like,
there's nothing worse. I used to do a radio show in Buffalo. There's nothing worse than when a band doesn't want to respond. Or they want to give you one-word answers or something. It's like, dude, come on.
Well, I remember asking Matt, like, open-ended questions, trying to get him to talk.
Yeah, like, come on, man, like, talk.
Yeah. But, okay, so, like, with all those bands, and, you mentioned Chiodos and how they kind of just shot to success. Because they debuted at, like, number 5 on the charts with that.
They did, whatever, man. I'm sure they worked for some of it. I'm not going to, like, fully diss them.
Yeah.
I just, there's some things that I question about that band that other band, they did, like, a fucking acoustic set or something like that, and I think that Craig dude pulled out his fucking sidekick and started fucking...
While he was on stage?
Yeah. It's like, dude, who the fuck are you, man?
Wow.
You know what I mean? I don't know. There's just... like I said, I have me personally, I have bad, not ill will, but I just have bad, like, just bad feelings about a whole bunch of bands like that,
What are other bands that you're really not fond of?
Horse a Band,
really?
Is another one. Just because they're shit talkers, like, there's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, if they're going to talk shit, they said some shit about us in an interview, and it was like, fuck them, who cares?
I've had them on the show, too.
Yeah, like, who are they? You know what I mean?
So does that bother you personally when other bands talk shit?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's just like, if it's something that's true, no. You know what I mean? Like if someone said something about, I don't fucking know, like if someone in our band drank too much or something like that. Whatever, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This shit happens. But if someone like attacks you for something that isn't even true, they should get beat up.
What about like bands? when fans say negative stuff, does that affect the band?
No, not at all. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It makes you feel like shit. Obviously, like, it makes you rethink some shit. But like, other than that, it's all an art. So it's like if you believe in something, you should commit. And, you know. So that's kind of how I've always done my thing. If I say something, you know, I'll hold true to it.
Well, I mean, at least you're down to earth like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's cool to be able to talk to somebody that's pretty down to earth.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I don't know, dude, I interview bands every week, so some are good, some are bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, believe me, like I said, I did a radio show, and like, you interview bands, and there's some people are dead fish, and some people are, you know, like the most colorful people.
Yeah. Like, I have to ask you, since we're talking about bands and their reactions towards the band, like, all that stuff on the internet that went on with your singer when he did the Fall Out Boy thing, like, what was up with that? Like, how did that turn into some, like, controversy where fans got pissed?
It's because fucking people obviously are going to make judgment because there's a band that's enormous. You know what I mean? And, like, when you're the biggest, you know, you're on the top, so everyone sees you. You know what I mean? So everyone's just going to sit there and pick. And, you know, they don't have the choice of who likes their music. It's just like us, just like, you know, the Bled, just like, you know, Human Abstract. Like, if someone's going to like your band, they're going to like your band. And, like, Fall Out Boy dudes, literally, since... But with me, I've been touring with bands since I've been 17, 16.
Yeah.
One of the first dudes I met from out of town was Pete.
Really?
When I was like 17, you know what I mean? And I think he's like 2 or 3 years older than I am. And like, you know what I mean? Like, that dude I've stayed at his house. He's cooked for me. You know what I mean? He's been a friend for almost 15 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I'm never, you know, I'll back that dude until the day I die. As long as that dude, you know what I mean? So. It was just so shitty. It was just like, who cares, man? These dudes are our friends. And no one would say anything if we went up and if the Bled did it. No one would say a thing. You know, like, oh, that was rad. I was like, okay, it's the same exact thing, you know? And I thought it was fucking rad because a band that sells fucking millions and millions of records.
Yeah, dude, I thought it was cool as hell.
Played a 250-person venue.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? And rock.
So cool.
And wanted their friends to come up on stage. That's fucking cool, man. You don't see Linkin Park doing that. You know what I mean? You don't see like other bands doing that. That's one of the coolest things ever. And they didn't take a fucking cent. They didn't take 1 cent from that show.
Is it weird seeing like your friends from way back then, like be in Fall Out Boy and be like, because that band is huge.
They're enormous.
You know, is that weird to think like that?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's weirder that he's fucking engaged to Ashley Simpson.
He is?
Yeah, more than anything. I think that's, you know what I mean? Like, dude, he, like a bum. We played at fucking Chicago, and like a bum walked in off the street. It's one of the first times every time I played Chicago. It's like, you know, and the guy, I mean, you know, kids are throwing their arms around, blah, blah, blah. The dude didn't know any better, and he thought the kids were fighting, so he grabbed one of the kids and, like, threw him, right?
Yeah.
Pete just beat the shit out of him.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like,
damn.
You know, it just, you know, that's the Pete that I know. It's not Pete on the cover of Tiger Beat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the time, and bands, like, labels will take chances on them just because they have that many friends on MySpace. It's seriously like, you know, with no matter, I mean, we've done, our last 2 records were on Pro Tools, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, we're just as guilty, but at the end of the day, like, you come see us live, it's going to be just like a CD, you know? So.
Are there certain ethics that you abide by when you're recording with Pro Tools, that things that you just will not?
Oh, yeah. There's never anything on the vocals where, like, it's not, like, there's
like
no...
respected auto-tone.
Yeah, exactly. None of that.
That's good.
Like, Dragon Force did this thing where they played everything really slow and then sped it up on the recording. You're never going to get that. Like, everything that you hear, you know what I mean? We've never done, like, a DI type thing. We've done just, like, straight mics to cabinets. Like, we won't do any of the tricks. Like, what people liked about music from the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, like, when it all was starting to go. Like, when you hear, like, old Elvis recordings, that's, like, that's him, being him. You know what I mean? That's, you know, there's pops, there's hisses, there's cracks. You know, sometimes the slightest fuck up on a guitar is something that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it shows that you're not. It shows that you're human. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like
I totally agree.
If you hear Eric Clapton bend a note a little flat, that's fucking cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you listen to like an old Cream song or something like that, and like he pushes a little hard and it goes a little sharp or flat. That's fucking cool. I was telling somebody the other day that a record came out. This band called the Saviours just put out, well, they're called the Saviours. They just put a new record out, and I said that one of my favorite parts was how sometimes they'll go flat in a solo, and it'll totally sound fucked, but it's just like, this dude's raging, he's ripping, you can tell. It just sounds cool, you know, and like that's the one problem about bands nowadays, they want everything to be fucking perfect. Everything needs to be flawless and really quantized, and just there's no, what is it? I'm trying to think. There's no urgency. It's not like when you listen to it, it's, there's no urgency to it. That's one reason why I don't like Gutter Phenomenon. For us was a hard one, because that record we worked with a producer that wanted everything to be like that, but he would talk about how he got us. He's like, you guys are like, oh, this, and he would like bring up names like Black Flag, and he would bring up like Refused and stuff. He's like, you guys are totally this, blah blah. We're just like, no, we're Every Time I Die. Like, we don't want to be like that, And that was like, it was basically like working with a cover band. You know what I mean? Like, where it was like this, like, here's a guy that like is, he would be great doing a cover band record. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, we're gonna take their recording and we're gonna add your little quip to it, And it was just like, whatever. And then we worked with Steve Evans on the Big Dirty. And here's a dude that's just like, dude, your picking doesn't have to be the same. You know what I mean? That's what's cool, because you're picking one way and you're picking one way. It's gonna make a weird, fucked up, almost chorus effect, and it's gonna sound rad. And then next you hear it and you're like, oh man, it is, because me and Jordan are complete different guitar players, and that was just it. And then Keith, he would push Keith pretty hard, but if Keith went like sour on a note or something like that, it added a little something. You know what I mean? Instead of taking away. Just like that. I have a pretty big problem with that. I wish that there was a way to do tape now, man. If you could record the tape,
dude, I love tape. It's
so fucking expensive. It's just people don't do it anymore. So, but I mean, there are ways that you can do like a Pro Tools recording to sound like tape. It's just you got to use the right preamps and shit like that.
Did you guys ever record on tape?
Yeah. Not Last Night in Town. Hot Damn is on tape.
All of it?
All of it.
Wow, that's awesome. Would you ever do it again? Like,
fuck yeah. Of course.
That's cool.
I'd like to, I mean, I was talking to Evans about this, Steve Evans. And he was saying, there's no difference, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, you can tonally hear it. Like, it's just fatter,
Totally, man.
Yeah. He's like, I can do it. And like, out of all the producers we've worked with, he's a dude that I trust the most. So he's just a rad dude. He's like a friend, you know what I mean? So when he said something to us, it wasn't like, well, who the fuck are you? Like, we're Every Time I Die. It was like, yeah, all right. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good idea.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, what are some bands that you do like that are fairly new?
There's a few. I'm really into rock stuff. I'm really into right now. I'm into like real. You know what I mean? Like,
me too.
So there's this band from Rhode Island called Trap Them that's pretty new, and they're pretty good. It's like, it's faster and it's really dirty, but it sounds really cool, and it's like sudden and like fresh. You know what I mean? I really like them. Out of stuff that's new, they're not a new band, but the newest brand new record I think is fucking genius. I really like Saviours. They're great. There's a band called Torche from Florida. That's just, they're gonna change music like the way Nirvana did. Like, I really believe that. I really believe that like the next wave of Nirvana, when their new CD drops, it's gonna change everything.
What's it like? What's their label? Like, what are?
They're on right now. They're on not Escape Artist. They're on. This is gonna kill me. Same record label that Pelican's on. And Hydra Head, yeah. They're on Hydra Head. Their new CD is going to be on Hydra Head. And Kurt from Converge just did their recording and stuff. Dude, I'm telling you, there's a new song on tonight. It's Torche, Torche, and it's just you've never heard anything like it. It's amazing. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's like I can't really even explain it.
I'll go listen to it tonight.
It's like a poppy. That's not even like a sludgy poppy band. I mean, it literally doesn't make sense. Like, they're fucking awesome. Like, it's just, and live, it's literally, it'll hurt you, like, live. Like, I'm not even kidding. They use, like, they have two different kinds of tuning. I think they tune the one, and everything's in, like C or B or something like that. And then the next tuning that they do is, they tune their top string to, like a low E. I mean, it's just like flopping, like you know, there's no tension on it at all, and then they tune everything to like B or something from the A string down. Yeah. Crazy. And then what they'll do is they'll play everything like that, and then they'll hit that floppy one, and they'll be like, they call it the bomb note. So when it hits, it's like, well, that's what it sounds like.
That's awesome.
It's fucking cool. Yeah, I could talk about that band for hours.
Right.
About how.
Dude, I'll check them out. That sounds really cool.
They're fucking awesome, dude.
Awesome.
Like I really think that, you know, as soon as they get on a legit tour, they're gonna take over.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll check them out.
Beautiful.
I'll get them on the show.
Oh, please, that would be awesome.
Well, I got one question about this rumor that I've heard.
Okay.
I've heard this rumor that like Korn wanted you guys to open up for him and you turned it down.
Really?
That's what I heard. Did anything like that ever happen?
No, that's a good rumor.
Would you play with Korn if they asked you?
Maybe for like a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Alice in Chains asked us to go on tour.
Really?
Yeah, and that the last tour that like their first big tour on the back or whatever, and we said no to them because we were just like, dude, it's not going to do anything for us, and it's not going to do anything for you guys having us on the show. And they were like, yeah, but you guys are just one of our favorite bands. And we were just, you know, we're like, if you want us to play like a show, like maybe or a weekend, then we'll do that, but not a tour. It'd kill us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you got to think
without pain.
with those. Oh, it's way different. Yeah. But with all those big bands like that, when you ask like a band like us on a tour, those people want to see that band. You know what I mean? I mean, they're fucking huge. Like Alice in Chains is like a classic thing. You know, for our time. You know, I don't know how old you are.
22.
Okay, I'm 30. And for my time, that was like our version of like Led Zeppelin, or you know what I mean? Like, you know, they were enormous. So there's no way I couldn't fucking go there and be like, oh, a bunch of dudes I went to high school with are here. You know what I mean? Like, that's just weird. But yeah, that Korn thing, I don't know. That never happened.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I can't help but notice, like, drink Red Bull.
Yeah.
Do you not drink?
I don't drink. I've been straight edge for 16 years. Yeah.
Is it hard to be straight edge on the road?
No, not at all. It's it's not hard at all.
Your amp's here.
My amp is here?
Your amp's here by merch, yeah.
My amp?
Hi, amp.
It's really here?
Yes.
Are you fucking with me? Look at this. I just went from a 30-year-old dude to a 12-year-old.
That's awesome.
Shit. Yeah. I bought an amp. I ordered an amp and bought an amp ago. And the fucking guys can give me the runaround.
And they finally shipped it here.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, but the straight edge thing, like, for me, it seems like it would be harder to tour being wasted. Like,
really?
Just do the. I mean, like Keith needs a drink just to like, get his nerves settled. Same with Jordan. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just too much of a fucking hard ass, or too much of like a fucking, you know, not like a jock. Like, I just have like a very, very strong work ethic and like a hard nosed, you know what I mean, like approach to everything.
That's cool. Where
it's, you know, I'm more or less like, I guess like a drill sergeant, I guess. Like, what if you just like writing a song with these dudes? You know, it's. I'm like, no, dude, it's got to be this way. Like, the execution has to be there, you know?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just like, I'm an intense dude when it comes to stuff like that. But with the whole thing, the whole straight edge thing, it was like, I'm not like a preachy dude at all. It's just basically just something I do for myself, yeah.
That's cool.
Rat Boy, our drummer, he's straight edge too. He's been straight edge for like 11 years or something like that.
The fans get shocked when they find out.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part is, man, is like, you'll fucking go out there, you know, like every single day I'll go play, and I'll get off stage, I'll go straight out, and I'll try to, like, while they're leaving, you know?
Yeah.
And, kids, oh, come on, man, let me go buy you a shot. I'm like, dude, I don't drink. And it's like one of the most disheartening looks to get. They're just like, really? You know, and they're like, wow, I don't drink, man. I mean, I'll have a Shirley Temple, but I won't drink.
I drink Mountain Dew. That's what
I got dudes at home, man. That's about like all my dudes I grew up with.
Yeah.
Drink that shit. Like, it's just, like crack, you know? Like, it's just, boom. Just, you know, they just fucking 2 liters of it and shit like that.
That's what I do.
2 liter?
Yeah,
you
man.
2 liter?
I get down to 2 liter in like
really?
5 minutes, dude.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
It's great.
I used to be like that. Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I had 2 addictions in my life. One was Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pepper was like my all-time favorite. Still to this day. So I was going to get the Black Flag bars, but they were going to be canned Dr. Pepper instead of the bars.
Oh, shit.
So, but I never got it. And then Skittles, dude. I got hooked. Like, it was bad. Like, I was up to, I'm not even, like, it sounds so ridiculous, dude. I was up to eating like 6 or 7 bags a day. Skittles, dude. I had to have them all the time. It was like a nerve killer. Like, if I was nervous, I would get Skittles and I would eat it and everything would.
That's
so,
weird.
When we what did we do? We took some time off. We took some time off after the Under Oath tour, and I stopped eating them. That was when I stopped cold turkey Skittles. So I had to stop. I had a bad problem. It actually was. I would see them and I would be like, fuck, man, I need a bag. And then I would just, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
You guys should do it like a little picture with like Skittles laying there.
Just out of my mouth,
just like,
my beard.
That's great.
Yeah, it was rough, dude. It was a rough time. I've never been hooked on anything. It sounds funny, man, because it's candy. But dude, how good are they? Dude, let me tell you this. I would fucking, if they made just the pineapple ones from the tropical.
Oh yeah.
They're so fucking good, dude.
That's funny.
I haven't had it in 4 months.
Wow.
Thinking about it, dude, I'm like,
oh, man.
just thinking about that fucking pineapple one.
Thanks to Andy for coming on the show. We leave you this week shining some limelight on a band. They're called Torche. We'll see you next week on Ryan's Rock Show. Peace.